Yeah, D+ for a little while. All right. Let's see what is going to be the change moving into this next draft. Maybe a center ban on blue side if they don't want to actually pick that one up. But we'll just have to see. Still taking their time, trying to figure out exactly what needs to be taken away. Orianna, Twisted Fate, and Varus were their bans on the blue side last time around. I don't mind the first two. I actually think that the Orianna, Twisted Fate do need to be gotten rid of. They are definitely taking their time, making sure they figure it out, and it is once again going to be the Orianna.
I also want to echo what Wolf said. I don't think they're going to actually run back the draft, but to me, the last game, and even the first game to a lesser extent, but mostly the last game, outside of the Senna that I do want to see taken away, the draft was a problem, yes, because of the bottom half of the map, but simultaneously, if they play out the fights better, we saw a few glimpses of them actually using the CC chain that was available to them. That could be a difference maker, and this Varus ban makes me believe that maybe they do want to indeed try and Senna it up here.
Yeah.
But no, gonna ban it, and that's 100% okay with that as well.
Or the first pick Twisted Fate. That's what it's kind of looking like to me.
Yeah.
The Nico going to be banned away as well, as they do leave up Kalista. So just getting rid of that one. So Kalista Renata on second round is very scary, and so D+, they are going to respect it. I'll lock that one away. Twisted Fate could come in here, but we'll just have to see, because Ashe up and available. Ashe and Azir both locked in. Very likely that Ashe is a Keria pick, but on the off chance, could potentially be going over to Gumayusi. But Ashe Caitlyn, something they've played before. Ashe Jhin, something they've played before.
Ashe Rumble.
Oh God,
that's a disgusting one. We've seen Kalista already struggle. I would love for DK to go back. I don't think Lucid has looked great today, but a strong mid-jungle 2v2 for him and Showmaker was something that has worked many a time for them. The skirmishes early just need to be better. I feel like what made DK so good against Shenji was their ability to not only take those skirmishes but look great in them. Against T1, they've just not been able to at all.
No.
I think a lot of it does actually come down in the mid lane as well. I think Showmaker today, the Diana was, I'd say, better than the Veigar, and that wasn't a very very high bar as it is going to be the Rel here for Kellen. Do think that Rel is a really strong pick right now, and it also takes it away from Oner, but Oner has been looking great on Xin Zhao. I don't think he's going to be too bothered by this, and Kellen on an engaged support.
Yeah, it's not Rumble. It's not Rumble, Chronicler. And so now T1 lock in Rumble, and then they kind of win, I think is what's going to happen.
At least there's some threat with the Rel, so you can all in.
No, maybe. It is going to be a Poppy, though, considered here by T1. And that should be the one locked in. So dodging a bullet. I actually thought that the Ashe Rumble was definitely going to come on through there. It doesn't actually end up happening. It is going to be Oner's Poppy. He's an absolutely fantastic Poppy player, as we know, and already so much CC being presented by T1.
It's also Poppy as well as Azir. Yeah. And into Lee Kalista. So the Poppy, I think, a smash hit here from T1. Also still setting up, again, for an R5 counter pick. I imagine Kingen, maybe you want to look towards your Aatrox. I wouldn't even mind it if you bend that away if you're T1. A Showmaker needs something that can actually snowball with Lucid, because Showmaker coming into the day, we talked about how he needs to be the guy to step up. We saw yesterday what an impact an individual player can have, and I think for Showmaker, he's had those moments this split where he just took over games, and right now his team is down 0-2. They need him to step up if they want to bring us to at least a game number 4.
See whether they can get their final ban to come through from T1. See what it is. I very much hope that DK do take away the Rumble. Because I just feel like it is very, very powerful alongside the Ashe on that bottom side of the map. Should be able to nullify a Kalista lane if it does come on through. But still, Showmaker having a lot of giggles. Kingen, the absolute opposite. About as straight-faced as you can be. And the last ban will be the Caitlyn, so wanting to make sure that they force the hand of T1. Twisted Fate, up and available. Very comfortable blind pick here for Zeus as well. He's been blinding it all tournament. And now we have to see what D+ are going to opt into. Aiming, switching around between quite a few different things. Corki Azir would be a choice. Of course, Showmaker was one of our premier Corki players, but hasn't really been one to pick it up all that much in recent times. As Annie Lee Sin would be a fair bit of power, as would be Ahri. And it's Rumble that's going to be locked in here. So going to deny that flexibility. Rumble sneaking through way further than I was expecting.
Give them a lot more time. That's, I think, the main thing. Because they're like, what do we want for Showmaker? I want to see like a Syndra, an Annie, an Ahri, something they can play off of Lucid. Azul, I wouldn't hate because we do have a fairly short-range composition. The Corki, to me,
double equalizer.
That would be, yeah, but that would be a bit of a miss. I think you need a power point, and it's going to go for the Ahri. Showmaker had an exceptional performance on this against Gen G, and I think the reason why they didn't really want to go for the Ahri is because you are playing it into Poppy. There is a point-and-click CC available as well.
Ooh, the Renata for Keria. So we are playing AD carry Ashe. And so Ashe Renata going to be that bottom lane. Try to nullify the Kalista. Of course, Kalista absolutely hates Ashe. Frost Shot is the bane of her existence. Still a fair bit of power in that bottom lane, and Kellen is still on something that does have an engage option. A lot of this geared towards the early stages of the game. I feel like T1, composition-wise, is going to be a lot more well-rounded. They have so much CC. They have so many options when it comes to disengage and creating chaos in these teamfights.
That said, this is really the type of composition for DK where I imagine if you're a coach, you're like, guys, you are going to fight early. If we lose, we lose. It's a 3-0. Who cares? We already got much further than people were expecting. But I want to see them actually commit to the fight that they did against KT, that they did against Gen G. Hopefully, they can clean it up, because if not, I agree with you, the composition from T1 has an incredible amount of power. It's fine. The reverse sweep is coming. He believes.
Yep. This guy always so incredibly animated. Huge Showmaker fan, and we'll see whether the show can begin here in game number 3. It's the last chance for DK in Spring to try and fight back against T1's, a task that they haven't been able to accomplish for an extraordinarily long time.
At least let it not be a 3-0.
Yeah,
give us another game.
We just want at least one more.
I want 2.
Play it just a little bit better. Let's jump into the rift, game number 3. T1 fans extraordinarily loud. D+ fans, you can sense the desperation. See whether they will be rewarded. See whether that fan chant was indeed loud enough to get them back into it. Kingen, on his Rumble, he hasn't received very many high star ratings from Huni. We're going to need at least a 4.5 from him, I believe, in this one. If he goes back and builds Merc Treads as item number 1 because there's a gold card, then we'll know that things are a really big problem.
Oh, we'll get it. I imagine we'll get a Huni cam.
Yeah, that would be a 0-star Huni cam. And we don't want to see it.
He wouldn't be happy about it. The Poppy going to be really bigger. Another thing that we haven't talked about yet, Zeus also going for Exhaust again, is that as they do sneak into Vision here,
very, very sneaky.
but I don't know what they're going to do with it, is that the Renata is so good into these type of compositions where you're able to deny the initial kill. For Ahri in particular, you're really, and for Kalista, you're really looking for these early resets. This type of composition really kind of plays itself in that regard. As I wonder if Lucid is just going to run bot.
He certainly could.
You see the pings going down, so Keria and Guma like, wait, hold up. Wait a minute. And now we are going to see Aiming and Kellen come in a way that is intended to not give away, but they...
Yeah, I think it's very obvious.
I think T1 probably knows.
Some pings do come out. And so it is just the blue buff that's going to be taken away here by Lucid in the early stages. Oner, of course, needs a couple of buttons before he's happy to go toe-to-toe. Faker already taking a fair bit of damage in this mid lane. Showmaker playing very aggressively. His Ahri has been pretty good in their recent matches. Was pretty pivotal even in that game that they lost against Gen G.
Yeah.
He looked great on it. So still, just have to see whether he can have a game-breaking performance on this pick alongside Lucid in this game. As Kingen finding a little bit of value here into Zeus. Of course, it is still a rough time in lane against Twisted Fate. He is indeed still Twisted Fate.
Still going to be insane. Twisted Fate also seemingly has replaced Aatrox, as Zeus says, I'll just blind it every game if I can get away with it.
Yep.
Type of pick. we do see Oner is going to get a return blue buff himself, so it's going to even up that.
Yeah, we'll see whether he actually moves on down to the Wolves as well. As you can see, Lucid, he's actually moving into the red side jungle, and he won't be able to find anything, but he might be able to find Zeus.
Oh, that's big. If he can actually get the kill here, there is no vision right now for Zeus.
Yep, he's taking the exhaust as well, so doesn't have the ghost for the extended chase. It's now Kingen moving on over. And Zeus, he's only got one gold card. There is the Tempest. The cripple comes down as well. The Q misses! As Lucid went for the Q smite to try and get rid of that pesky minion in the front, but you still have to hit the Q to make that one work. And Oner, he's going to finish clearing out the entirety of Lucid's jungle. Might even be able to come on over and take this one away as well, but doesn't have smite.
Yeah, it does have to be careful, but this is...
Oh, no.
Yeah, snuck in right behind them. They should still know that he's on top side. The gank ends up still getting the summoners. Kingen still has both of his. So, as you point out, probably would have been a kill if Lucid hits the Q. Still going to be an okay gank, but if you look at the cost that has been paid, it is still a little bit rough as Lucid's going to show up.
Yeah, Q going to connect. There's the charm as well. He gets the Sand Soldier out as a safeguard. Brings Lucid back, but he'll take a turret shot with him. And that is going to put him down to about a third. Still, should be a double scuttle here for the Lee Sin, who just lost his entire topside jungle. So definitely very necessary to get him back into this game.
Ends up being relatively even in camps, but down in experience due to the scuttles, as opposed to getting some of the other objectives. Does get spotted here. Yeah. That'll be him cancelling his back as Oner is looking for another camp. Might look on Showmaker here.
Yeah, might be able to find himself an Ahri, as only level 5 can flash to get out of the way and does do so. And so now, flashless for the Ahri. Faker actually not using his in the previous exchange, so he will have that summoner spell advantage as he makes his way back to the lane.
Ooh, this is a really good wave stay. Oh, never mind, he's Rumble. I take it back. It should still be okay, pushing into him. And without exhaust and flash, Chase actually needs to play really, really respectful here. So we'll see if Kingen is able to utilize that. That said, though, this early game looking pretty uneventful so far. And once we hit 6, that's where I really want to see DK try and play, because I just don't think they're going to win mid to late if they don't have an early lead.
Yeah.
They just seem so reliant on it in these games.
As a team, that is just
in
generally
general, as a
the way
team.
that it
Yeah,
goes. And as a draft, I 100% agree as well.
Even more so.
Yep. Zeus does have his gold card armed. We'll just throw it at Kingen here, as we can see. But that does mean that Kingen now has an opportunity to get a lot of damage down. Q going to connect, and Zeus will be taken down. That is first blood. Gold card not enough to hold him in place to die to the turret. And this Rumble working out so much better than any other thing that Kingen's tried into Zeus.
First gank, not quite hitting the mark. Second gank, easy peasy. Hits the Q there. Kingen doesn't even have to use his equalizer. I don't think he had it available.
Oh, no.
I know. He does buy Mercs. So
okay,
we're still.
Well, we'll see whether we can get a Huni cam.
Well, I know he's not happy.
Oh dear. Well, now Gumayusi also may not be happy. Does cleanse the slow from the Rend. And Kellen realizing that he's not going to be able to get into Shattering strike range.
Yeah. Big thing there is that he didn't have vision of the river, so if Kellen goes in, Guma just flashes and they probably get killed on the collapse. So only going to get the cleanse. Still a nice little win there, as we do have towards top side now the grubbies being taken.
Yeah, Lucid actually taking a lot of control of the jungle, although Oner does have a slight camp advantage. Feels like the good camps have been going over to the Lee Sin. As Gumayusi Keria pushing forward here in this lane, as we can see. Lucid moving in. Does have the opportunity to take away a red buff if you would like.
No!
Zeus unfortunately going to have to throw a whole lot of extra cards into this, and I just don't think he is going to be able to take it.
He might die.
Yeah, no flash.
Ooh,
does have the exhaust back up and available now.
Lucid is going to spot Oner here.
Yeah.
They know though.
Yeah, Faker in position as well. Okay, Showmaker gonna spot Faker. Emperor's Divide's gonna push him under the turret. Spirit Rush has to be employed. And now, Oner trying to get some work done here onto Lucid, but it is just a fight for the campers. There's the flash in! Okay, Gumayusi gonna get all of those sticks thrown into him, and the Ren does come down. The Ignite's still taking the bailout. They didn't wait quite long enough, but aiming, he might be able to get it, and there it is. Now Keria running for the hills, but he will make it to the safety of his turret. A 1-for-1 here in the bottom lane.
And unlike in many lanes of T1, Keria would have much rather his support or his AD carry rather got that kill. It's going to be a favorable trade here for Aiming, who is going for the lethality build again. Makes sense into the enemy team. Only Poppy is tanky, and against Poppy, you're not doing a whole lot of autoing. So no. A solid call, even with Faker getting the better hand of Showmaker there, isn't enough to create real problems, as we do see Gold Card gets used. King in has a scrap shield where it needs to be, as his Ignite. It's as clean as that. Zeus didn't even feel like he was playing disrespectful. Take another look here. It's the Q flash on top of Guma, then Aiming, walking out. Oh, God.
Well, Kellen crashing down towards Zeus. Does get the flash, and then gives him the good old thumbs up, as Kellen giving away the fact that he is up here towards the top side.
Zeus is chuckling. He's giggling.
Well, he presses Destiny as well, and will be able to cancel Kellen's back. So Aiming is going to continue to have a bad time here towards the bottom side. And there is a gank attempt. I mean, you may as well press the gate button if you get there. And it could be a fight. As Aiming, yeah, he's nowhere near this turret. They are just going to all head down there, though, and that should be a lot of plate gold going over to T1.
We've seen this before. This is the second time this has happened this series.
Yeah. And he got a flash. That is good. But thing is, now Aiming cannot approach, so it'll be 2 plates very comfortably taken down.
He was really far ahead.
Yeah.
Well, not anymore.
Nope. And Oner going to once again just pass back over, with Kellen being in the vicinity. He shouldn't be able to dive too easily, especially with Lucid here as well.
They don't know that yet.
Yeah, Shattering Strike to connect onto Gumayusi here, who's a bit disconnected. Crashdown to come through as well. He's now Aiming very slowly, trying to dance around this fight. In goes Kellen with the Fate's Call, as the pushback with the heroic charge is gorgeous. And now Showmaker getting amongst it. The Spirit Rush working out as Gumayusi desperately trying to hunt down Kellen. He'll find it, but he will die immediately. And trading support for AD carry generally not exactly something you'd say is worth.
Aiming also getting further ahead. I do think Guma made the right call. Identified with the Ahri that he was going to die anyway. Does end up getting the kill. Really big there is that Oner actually gets his ult up, even with Lucid kicking him. So as a result, Lucid isn't actually there. They miss a lot of damage, so Kellen is just kind of sitting there without his horse, waddling.
Yeah.
It's not where you want to be.
Aiming does manage to clear a wave, and that is good.
Will be a favorable trade. Not too much given up in the end as Kellen.
He's back again. He wants to be anywhere but bot lane, I guess. Emperor's Divide is going to come on down. There's the Magnus. Thomas Faker will flash to get himself out of the way. Q lands too close to the turret, though, and Keria not going to be going down or engaged upon at all. But the thing I do like about this, even though it's not necessarily working out super well, is that they're going in.
They're doing stuff.
They're doing heaps of stuff, man.
Signs of life for DK. Not enough. Let's be very clear about that. I want to see Dragon stacking. If we get a third chem tech.
Oh, God. Ox. Please.
As we take another look here, so they go in on Guma, knowing that they have the teleport, so they want to play very aggressively for this. But then there, right, the kick doesn't actually interrupt the ultimate. And even with Showmaker showing up, it's effectively 3 versus 3.
The Fate's Call also does absolutely nothing. Kellen just kind of whiffs it to the side, unfortunately. And the bailout, high value, but maybe not necessarily worth to go for the one.
Yeah, I look back, I'm like, I think Guma could have just walked it off.
Speaking of walking it off, Zeus is going to try and do that, as he does have the exhaust. Not going to invest it into this particular play.
I know there's a certain someone right now that's screaming, if you had sword pen boots, you would have killed him there.
Yeah.
I can feel it, Atlas.
I mean, we know that that's exactly what he's saying. And we know that it's also already a 2.5 star at best for King, and even though
see how his ults are
dominating the lane.
Yeah.
All right, Gumayusi gonna throw out a hawk shot. Does see 3 members of D+, as once again, rotations.
This is a big moment.
Yeah.
They gotta get this dragon.
Full vision available for T1.
Shooting fight. Zeus will be a little bit behind the play, even with his ult.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's an equalizer not available for King, and still does not matter. DK now. Oh, handshake just barely going wide. Dangerous moments, and it's an Infernal Soul? That's a much better one.
A Fun Soul?
My goodness, thank you so
much,
much,
League
Orcs.
of Legends?
Yep. Let's just say thanks, Orcs, in the chat, if we could, just to encourage him to be better every time.
So who generates Infernal Souls? So if you for Cloud Souls, Orcs for Chemtech.
I think Orcs just controls most of it, and I take the credit for Clouds.
Ah, okay.
I think that's how it works. I don't think that I actually have anything to do with it. I just like to say that I do. Yeah, I'm like the fanboy, the Cloud Soul fanboy. Zeus trying to clear out some minions here. That is a plate almost going down for Kingen, who does now have his Leandries.
I'm just imagining you with a cheerful going, next game Cloud Soul will win!
Yeah!
He's gonna do it! Movement speed's underrated! Two grubs taken right now for DK. We'll see if Lucid wants to extend. These are good leads. By themselves, they're not really enough. I still think that the composition of T1, just by the virtue of having Azir and Poppy, just has a much easier time getting to mid to late. I don't think DK, until we get to like late game, right, and they have enough MR and Kalista doesn't get to play the game, and the resistances really start stacking, but that's like, we're talking like 45 minutes in. That's where I feel like DK really is not going to have anything to say anymore. But as long as they are able to find picks, this composition does have a lot of legs, but they need a Baron. They need to actually start taking out turrets. I don't know.
They need souls as well. I think as soon as you start stacking these dragons up, a composition like this certainly can have a bit of added longevity. They can utilize a Herald in order to get that one going, as well as Kellen off to the side unseen for now. As T1 were thinking about trying to contest, and they're not going to. Just going to be the Herald going over to DK.
The early lead for Kingen actually ends up being quite big, because every single time we see Kingen already be in mid by the time that the objective is started, T1 spots him, and they're like, we can't actually make our way over. So Oner is here.
Yeah, heroic charge onto Kellen, actually finds a lot of value. He's going to get that knockup. Magnus Storm comes in. Lucid going to come on back. And now Showmaker has teleported forward. Oner is burning down. He's got the bailout, but look at the AoE. It is disgusting. Gumayusi once again going completely ham. As Faker going to get missed by that one. Zeus moving up. Remember, there is no Rumble, but it's a 2 versus 4. So probably a little bit optimistic to go for it. And Kingen, he might even be able to get first turret blood on this Rumble.
Colossal win there for DK. These are the type of skirmishes you're looking for. T1 feels like, I think because of the bailout, they think they can 100-0 aiming, who, by the way, identifies, I'm not autoing anyway, I might as well get steel caps.
Yep.
A lot of mercs in general here on the side of DK. All of the big haters of TF. And Ashe not allowing that to have any gameplay.
The merc value is quite high.
Oh no, it's crazy. Yeah, I'm not outside of the Rumble. I'm not complaining about it, but it is remarkable because very clearly the call here from T1 is so we 100-0 someone, we get the bailout because they are pretty even in this 3v3. The problem is that a lot of the damage goes down into the rel. Kellen re-engages, then gets Fates called, aiming immediately cleanses the ult, and then Lucid just ensures that even with the TP, the CC with a kick keeps Showmaker alive, and this is the type of things you live for as Ahri.
Oh yeah, this was exactly the fight that Showmaker was looking for. Look at that Dark Seal Chronicler. That is when you know that Showmaker has started feeling it once again. This is where DK fans start to build some hope towards maybe not a clean sweep for T1. Even with a win here, I think that victory is still a very difficult prospect, especially with side selection then moving into T1's favor. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. This game is not over yet. It is 2,500 gold to lead. DK have done what they need to do. They need to keep it up. They need to keep up the pressure. They need to avoid getting into a position where T1 can just teamfight the way that they want to.
Kingen was part of one of the most memorable reverse sweeps of all time. So I'm a believer. Right, it's gonna happen if we get to Game 5, which I still don't know if that's gonna happen.
It is definitely possible. Probability-wise, might not necessarily be up there.
I just wanna get ahead of myself while I still have the opportunity to because I don't know if it's gonna last as Faker.
All right, we've turned off the vision as Faker is just gonna push him away, but the charm is going to come on back. Still, they just don't do that much damage to it. This is Hail of Blades on the Azir as well this time around. Not the grass, but he still looked pretty tanky.
Okay, this Drake is really, really big. Showmaker doesn't have his TP available. I really want to see DK play for this. Faker does have his. You need the Ahri. Showmaker, he identifies getting the cannon not as important as making it to the dragon.
Yeah,
that's a good call.
Just kill the minion wave as best you can. Lucid having to be a little bit careful here, but does still have the Rift Herald. He's going to put that one down now to guarantee some control. That Drake is live, like you said. Showmaker rotating down, and the Rumble has boarded the Shelly bus. And now, Oner is just going to push him against this turret. He has to flash to get out of the way as Keria. He's bailed himself out, but that is going to dissipate. And I don't know about that play.
No, it's actually, I can't
Did it work?
In this, but it's actually so worth. They used free ultimates on that.
All right. Okay, yeah, that is kind of worth.
It was only King and Splash. I just don't know how.
Yeah.
Because I saw Oner come in.
Oh god, no, Chronicle, do you know what it is? It's Merc Tread's value.
Oh my god!
Oh, Hooney, we're so sorry. We're starting to believe in the Merc Treads. Oh god. Oh no.
It's gonna be the second Drake by itself. Not enough if it was Soul Point, but T1 have been mega consistent in getting at least a single dragon. Still gonna be a really big win.
Yeah.
Here for DK, they need to keep this tempo up.
Kingin.
Kingin. He's going.
Yeah, it looks like the Riftmaker build. Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun because we saw with Keen the Battle Rumble really did do a lot of work with their Jack shows and all those cool
There's
things.
no Infernal, or a Mountain rather, there isn't Infernal. So maybe it's the opposite, where like in that game it was broken because you got Mountain for the resistances.
Yeah.
But now if you build Tank, you do just as much damage.
Yeah, because you've got Infernal.
Yeah.
It all just works. It's just the push and pull. As Kellen able to freely ward things, that feels very, very good.
It's the first.
Yeah. Some map control now pieced together here by DK. Thing that I'm worried about for DK is the fact that T1 do have just so many options for picks, for team fight control with the Poppy ultimate, right? The Keeper's Verdict is so incredibly powerful at just getting fights on your terms, and they have Destiny on top of that.
Yes, you really highlight everything that I think you should mention. So there's Ashe ult, that's kind of the wild card, you know, realistically.
I mean,
that one,
Gumayusi's been a bit of a wild card today as well.
That is very fair. But being hit by that is kind of out there. But outside of that, trying to side lane is really hard. Trying to make plays is hard because if you over-invest into an Oner ult, you actually, or into an Oner W rather, into an Oner ult would also be bad. You really have a tough time. And side laning into TF is always going to be a nightmare unless you're collapsing on him specifically. We also see T1 still have really great control of their jungle. There is a ton of vision that is still being set up for them here, and the mid lane turret hasn't yet fallen. Those are the main things for DK right now, is getting the mid lane turret, get the dragon in 3 minutes, and maybe look for a collapse. This would be a great way to do so, but I don't know if Zeus is actually going to show up. And if Lucid gets spotted while he's on that end of the map, Kingan's there to stand bodyguard, but Baron is always going to be a juicy target.
Oh, 100%. Ward's going down left, right, and center here. As the Baron, a consideration, 21 minutes in. And DK have now found an out-rotation. Zeus might actually think twice about moving towards these minions. He's trying to clear them out as best he can, but this one's down extraordinarily low. Gumayusi does have arrow at the ready, but still, the inner turret just going to be taken. The arrow opportunity doesn't present itself.
This is where the Rumble comes in. If you try to do a Baron against Rel Rumble and you're not 100% certain that you can kill them beforehand, you do get toasted.
Yeah.
The way that T1 are not looking forward towards the Riftmaker now done here.
Just kind of working out in the end with the way DK approached this draft. I think looking back at what the space we're talking about ideal looking DK drafts, it was very similar to this. One of the examples that we had, I think that was the one with the Gragas on the top side of the map.
Oh, yeah.
But I think Kingen is still having an absolutely fantastic performance on this Rumble. Has his Riftmaker now completed as well. He's 20 CS up on the TF. And so I think hats off to the big game hunter himself. Kingen has been a bit of a, rags to riches story from the beginning to the end of the season.
So I think Kingen has gotten infinitely better. He did get like 5 ganks.
Yeah, the 5 ganks.
The 5 ganks.
Now he looks great.
Yeah. And
the riches is he's got a jungler in his lane now.
So did he get rich because of the jungler, or did he Was he rich and he hired the jungler?
Oh, I mean, that's the thing.
We don't know. I don't have these answers, unfortunately, but it is not enough just yet. This mid lane turret needs to fall.
Arrow going to connect here onto Showmaker, who does make it out. Emperor's Divide's going to connect as well. Showmaker will be taken down, aiming. Gets off the Fate's call, so they're not going to lose too much more, but that is a very key pick. 40 seconds until the Ahri is back. Does have teleport, but this is a big tempo change in favor of T1.
Zeus might be the one that gets to pick a card, but it's the wild card Guma finding the ultimate there, setting up that play. I think Showmaker actually thought that he was... I feel like he could have flash ulted and maybe gotten out. I feel like he was kind of contemplating there. Does have Mercs, did have the rest of his team there, so maybe they were looking for a follow-up of some sorts. I love that we continuously get these...
Yeah, Jonas Strong making sure that he keeps the suspense as high as possible.
It's a good pick. It doesn't mean that much in the grand scheme of things. Showmaker won't have flash, which is a big defensive summoners, but same for Faker. As we take another look here, they really want to get this mid lane turret. Showmaker could have flashed that or ulted that, then flashes, and then here, unfortunately, doesn't actually get out. Really nicely done by Faker to swoop him back. But that is, again, heavy investment on the summoners from T1. They keep their mid lane turret alive, but we'll see if Faker not having flash or Showmaker not having flash is going to mean more. Yeah, I love this from DK. We've seen them just give up these objectives so many times. Just start it up, although as I say that, they immediately peel off because of the ult.
Yep. A lot of vision available here with the Destiny, and now Kingin gonna have to flash to get himself out of the way of this. And Equalizer, it goes down, but they are just gonna chain CC him to death. Showmaker tried to get over there, but it's not going to work out. And now the Blast Cone gets T1 completely formed back up again. That charm, absolutely amazing, but there is the Dragon going over. It's Faker that secures it. Exhaust onto Showmaker. He's still very dangerous, but he doesn't find the charm. And the roll will go down. Lucid is super dead. He will be taken out here by Faker, and T1 once again find a team fight here at about 21-something minutes in the game. Not sure whether it's going to be completely backbreaking, but it's starting to hurt.
Very well might be. There's no Equalizer available. There's no Kellen. I don't know if they can defend this. They might just look to push instead, give up the Baron. But that is such a heartbreaking moment for DK.
Yeah, they played out the early game, just not quite able to build that snowball large enough.
That's going to be Nash.
Yeah, Baron going to be secured here. So 1,500 on the clock as far as that Red Bull Baron power play is concerned. Showmaker was looking for some exit kills. Just think it's going to be so difficult as he doesn't quite find the, anything at all really. And he's just going to be taken down.
They're still going.
Yeah, Kellen going in now. He'll be hit by an arrow. There's an Equalizer. That's going to do a fair bit of work. The Fate score comes down. They at least get the Twisted Fate. Kellen going to have to try and canter his way out. It's a 1-for-1 in the end. Gold hasn't really gone ballooned completely insanely, and the Rebel Baron power play was taken down by 200 after the play. There we go.
You'll take it because it also takes away some of the tempo, right? Now they have to wait, but right here, the Twisted Fate, B1 paying, or R1 paying off again. The priority on this pick, I think, really has been so big because Zeus and Faker, despite the Mercs, by the way, just get the kill straight up. And then here, I want you to pay attention. Showmaker actually gets Faker really low. Lucid wants to win, but then Faker shuffles back, and then there is an immediate exhaust onto Showmaker. There is an ult from Keria that means that Showmaker can't join the fight. And Kellen ends up going in, ends up dying by himself. Lucid at that point, obviously, is also toast, as Showmaker tries to go for something, knowing that aiming is there. They're trying to get the most out of the fact that there are a lot of backs that have come through from T1. I think this play, actually, it looks really silly initially, but you'll probably take it. The amount of summoners you invest is a little bit rough, but you do take a lot of time away, but it's not going to be enough to stop T1. This Rebel Baron power play still going to lead, but if they can keep the inhibs alive, they might still look for a Hail Mary fight.
Might still stand a chance. The arrow is going to go wide. Equalizer goes down. I mean, it's a lot of AoE damage, but there are not a lot of members of DK in this area. They'll do a fair bit of work. Showmaker now trying to get in there. Lucid off to the side. He'll connect a Q. But with a Poppy in the area, you just cannot go in with a Resonating Strike. Safeguard to try and get Lucid out of there. And Showmaker, he's down to about 400. He needs to go back to base.
And this has been the story of today. Kellen most notably, but just members of DK being slid out of position, getting collapsed on, and then, okay, I guess we fight. I guess we have to do it. And it not working out even remotely. That's 2 more kills going over.
Well, aiming and Lucid now looking to try and find something, some sort of angle. Twist of Fate nowhere near at this point in time, but they don't know that.
They can probably maybe kill him. He doesn't have flash. They're going to give up this turret anyway, but the inhib, I think, is really big. Can't let that one fall. Look how respectful Zeus is playing.
Yeah, he's going to play back. Doesn't have the Baron himself. Certainly good news. Does mean that DK can get the push down, but T1, they are definitely taking this inhibitor. Or at least taking the turret.
Oh, the big collapse.
Yeah, Kellen walks over a ward, but you can see the Ahri moving her way in as well.
Doesn't have his ult.
Yeah, Kingen throwing down a very early equalizer here. And Gumayusi standing in that brush. They're just trying to keep them interested. Of course, Zeus, he cannot get down here. Doesn't even have the ult if he's going to walk into that area. You're going to connect there onto Oner. Steadfast presence at the ready. As T1, they're just looking to try and find an exit, trying to find a way out. DK trying to find a way in. There is the engage. Magnustorm pulls Oner back in. Fate's Call going to be utilized here is now Showmaker. He's fishing, trying to find an opportunity. Empress Divide, it connects only onto Aiming, who will now just try and kill the rest of his team because it was a fantastic hostile takeover. And now Lucid gets into the backline. Keria is the last man standing, and it's King and finally making this Rumble work in a team fight.
I'm pretty sure Zeus could have made it if he just walked over at some point, but no! T1, they still extend the play, but that's probably going to be Soul Point going over to DK, and those kills inject some much-needed gold into this as we go back here. Kellen and King, and they're like, we're together. We're safe, right? They're not. TF finds them again, even with a engage here. It's not enough. Doesn't have the damage, particularly with the Battle Rumble. Showmaker, Lucid, aiming, can't do a whole lot. But then here, Zeus doesn't have his ultimate. And you see T1, I think initially they're pretty confident that they can just get out of here because their comp is really hard to engage on. They do have the bailout. But if you just keep taking pot shots, keep taking damage, eventually things are going to become a really big problem. And even with Faker drawing a lot of attention in the backline, aiming doesn't actually end up going down until Guma finds him, and Lucid and King and do a lot of heavy lifting there.
Yeah, Lucid actually almost making an amazing kick play, but the interruption from Oner, absolutely amazing.
Could have looked worse.
Yeah, definitely could have. And as we can see now, as the dust is settling, completely even when it comes to the kills. Still gold advantage for T1. Able to utilize that Baron quite nicely to take the inner and inhibitor turret from the bottom side of the map. But importantly, they didn't get the inhibitor, so still able to get waves in position, and they get the soul point here. DK live to fight another day. Man, they're going to have to work really hard for it still.
DK is just, it can't be easy. That's not how we do things, right? That's not how they almost beat Gen G. They ended up making it in the end, but how they persevered. 5-game series against KT as well. Zeus has his Infinity Edge done now.
Yep. Aiming has got a weird build. He's gone lethality, but he's like, I like Rage Blades. And I respect it, because I also like Rage Blades. It's just... it's the most non-sequitur Rage Blade I've ever seen. I love it.
I don't really understand it. I do, like, it makes sense with Ballista to have its XP, but I feel like with the lethality build, you do kind of commit, as Kellen does
Look at Faker's build, dude.
Yeah, he is not going to let a Battle Rumble ruin his day.
No, he is doing damage. And okay, into the backline goes Lucid, and then out of the backline goes Lucid, and he's now hit by an arrow. Fate's Call has DK know that they need to start this fight. Faker, he finds the Rumble with the Empress Divide, but Showmaker's also going to be able to take down the Twist of Fate. Look at these health bars, they're so low on DK's side. It's only Showmaker that still has any fight left in him. Still, it is a 1-for-1 trade of top laners, and T1 are still going to start off this Baron.
Of course. And Lucid, I don't know, he flashed in at the end there, and you see him.
I didn't even notice him die, I'm not going to lie.
Head in his hands. I think was trying to maybe turn it with a kick. As we take another look, goes in here on Keria, gets met by the handshake. Now you can maybe get away with it. Look, Kellen is low. I don't know why he would want to walk up. Then doesn't flash that, and then watch this. Actually ends up, I think he was wanted to try and kick.
Yeah.
Or because the rest of the team was on the other end of the wall, or flash and then W, but Faker actually clips him with the ult, so he gets knocked up, gets locked down, or locked out rather. Yeah, you need to look for a cheeky kill here.
Okay, what's happening here? We need to be detectives again. The lights are off.
Well, they're just trying to look for picks because they lost another Baron.
They did. Well, look at all of the wards also littered towards the top side of the map. This is the only place that they really can look for picks as... Okay, Zeus.
Oh.
Walk in. There it is, the engage, and Zeus is just going to be taken down. So T1, once again, have to deal with... without their Twisted Fate. I still think that it's multiple turrets going to be traded for the TF.
It's going to be mid-inhip at least, but they're going to look for the exact same play.
Yeah, no, it is. It's
look
already.
At the long flank!
Oh, God. Well, King in. He can throw down the equalizer. It's going to do a little bit of work, but...
Does it?
Yeah, logistics program's going to be absolutely fine there, shielding up the teammates.
They remember up, though.
Yeah.
Fight so badly.
Still an opportunity here as the handshake does come through. Sundisk now going to be put up as well as DK. I don't know whether they even have them where they want them. As Charm will connect onto Oner. He takes a fair bit of damage. He's super tanky and he's popping.
Oh, yeah. It's so hard to engage under the T1 composition. With the Poppy, with the Azir, with the Renata. T1.
Oh, okay. Well, Arrow is going to connect. Good Charm is going to land onto the Poppy. As Kellen tries to crash down on top of him, but it's not going to work. Steadfast Presence too strong. And Lucid, he will connect a Q, but it's onto a Poppy. Once again, Steadfast Presence too strong.
Not going to be enough, but maybe this is what DK needs to try and make a play for this Soul. Reminder, and again, the inhib didn't actually end up falling because of the pick on Zeus. T1, they are looking poised to take the 3-0, but DK, they're making them work for it. They are hit and running. They are not giving up Atlas, and if they can get an Infernal Soul, as long as they don't lose the ensuing fight, because do note their base is wide open, anything is possible.
Yeah, if a team fight is lost by DK now, I think it's done. Just kind of game over.
Yeah.
As handshake going to go wide. All right. Control of the river should belong to T1 here as Zeus on a great flank angle. I don't think Kingin's going to look for another flank on this Rumble. I think staying with the team is going to be a good idea here to make sure he can get that equalizer down, make things happen. Lucid, he's going to be the one. He is able to get over walls a whole lot easier. And yeah, Zeus should just be able to take 2 inhibs if they're not going to get the work done. And now DK, they were thinking about trying to collapse on top of him once again, but this Drake has been started up.
And it's probably going to go down to the wave.
Yeah,
DK
going to come on through, and now the Destiny has dissipated. Zeus now looking for that flank himself. Kellen taken 50% down as Faker. He's going to get himself out of there. It should be the Drake, a possibility. The secure for Oner, and they deny the Soul. And now, can they actually win the fight as well as everyone's in the Thunderdome? Lucid is going to try and kick away the Azir, the equalizer, just not doing quite as much as it wants to do, and he's stuck inside the pit with nowhere to go. And DK, they're now going to get flanked by Faker. He finds 2 with the Emperor's Divide, and that is going to be that. That will be the 3-0 as welcome back T1. They will go to the lower bracket final in Jumshill next weekend.
DK, they had an incredible series against Gen G, but it seems like tonight that magic remains only in place when they face that team. T1, dispatch of them in a 3-0